the Xbox Ally X is out in the wild. We have them. Farrell has it. I have it. Doodle has it. I've had the original ROG Ally.
Mm-hmm.
I had the original Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
I have the OLED Steam Deck.
Okay.
I have the G Cloud, the Logitech G Cloud, the streaming.
Okay.
I would say streaming only, but it actually has Android built in, so you could actually download stuff. So it's that device. And then I've had the Switch, and I have the Switch 2. Right. So those are all the handhelds that I have had recently experience.
I am Switch and Xbox Ally X. So I haven't really been in the PC handheld space.
Okay. All right. So that's a good place to start right now.
Yep.
My previous experience with these other handhelds, obviously the Switch are Nintendo, so that's fine. But the actual experience for me playing the other devices, I feel like the Steam Deck was the best version of it because it was like all encompassing when you played the Steam Deck. I think it was closest to feeling like a Switch as far as how it worked, and the ecosystem was its own, and it just worked fine. Whereas the ROG Ally was more of a Windows device.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was really hyped for it, and I was in it and I was using it often. And even though it didn't look as good as I wanted it to, I still kind of just love the idea of having it. But over time, over a short amount of time, it didn't take that long for me to kind of fall out of love with using Windows on a handheld, aggressively out of love with it. Like, I just really honestly haven't touched it. Like, I told everybody somebody told me that they did a lot of updates. So I said, you know what, I'll go download it to see. And I downloaded it, and I think I just didn't care at that point. It still was very weak, so it didn't really feel great playing games on it. And I just kind of defaulted back to using the cloud on my OLED Steam Deck. And that's pretty much where I have been. All my handheld gaming, and I played handheld gaming often, was on the Steam Deck OLED via the cloud. So now Xbox Ally X arrives, and I was very hyped for it. Obviously, I think we were all very hyped for it, especially this being your first Windows, handheld, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I've touched the other handhelds, but I didn't own them, so I had a little bit of experience, but it just wasn't something that appealed to me to the point where I was like, I need to buy one, especially at the price point they were at. It wasn't feature complete enough for me as a dedicated gaming device.
Understood. Now, to be clear, we're not doing like measurements, no official specs and shit. I didn't measure anything. Nope. This is just a gamer sharing their experience gaming on this handheld. So first thing is just putting it in your hand, right? The actual handheld Xbox Ally X in my hand. It feels amazing, right? It feels like it's weird. It kind of like melts into your hand. It's kind of hard to describe it, where I don't feel like I'm holding a handheld. It just feels like it's just part of it. It's light but sturdy.
Yeah,
right.
It doesn't feel like I'm holding an Xbox controller, but it's similar. Especially the back buttons, they feel a lot different than an Xbox handheld, but than an Xbox controller. But it still feels very comfortable in your hand. Everything has a good natural distance as far as where the buttons are and things like that. Like buttons that aren't necessarily typical on a controller. They're very easy to get to, like to pick it up and hit the fingerprint button on the device is very, very smooth. And I feel like the ports are well placed. Nothing gets in the way of your gaming experience from a handheld perspective. It definitely feels very good in your hands.
Agreed, 100%. Even like the little two buttons that are back there,
Mm-hmm.
I have programmed them to work for my A and B buttons, so I could jump and crouch in most games, and it feels natural to use for me. Like I'm a big paddle user on my Elite, right? So I love using the paddles. I'm very used to doing that. And I thought that the position where they were might be weird, but for my hands particularly, it just fits. Like
Mm-hmm.
my finger just lies right on those buttons perfectly, and I'm able to use them, well in game. So I've played, I think, a range of games already.
Yeah.
I've played Outer Worlds 2 on it, pre-release, which means it wasn't even like completely, like, this was not
Optimized.
optimized for the handheld, right? So this is
Yeah.
pre-release software. I played Dying Light, the Beast on it via Steam. I played Battlefield 6 on it. I've played some of the smaller games like the Ball Pit one. I played Assassin's Creed Shadows on it. And I think as far as the big games are concerned, that's pretty much it, because I wasn't testing it. I'm literally playing these games. So Dying Light, I'm playing a lot more. I didn't know I would be so into it, but I'm still into it. Like we reviewed the game, and very few times do I go back, but
Mm-hmm.
Dying Light is the shit. So
So
I've been playing that a lot. I've been playing Outer Worlds more there. I played another game I forgot, but I haven't played too much of it because I'm kind of doing some other stuff first. But I played Keeper on it for a little bit. I played Ninja Gaiden 4 on it for a little bit,
mm-hmm.
and I played Ninja Gaiden Black, the remake that they did.
Yeah,
Not too long
Hayabusa.
ago. Yeah, that one. So those are the games that I've played on it, and all of the games I played, I've been playing them at normal, meaning not plugged in. So I'm not plugged in. I'm not getting turbo mode. I'm not doing that. I'm literally playing just in my hand, no plug-in. Whatever setting is the standard setting on it. I'm not fiddling with anything. I didn't go into the power
Yes.
profile and change anything. When I turn on the games, I'm not going into the settings. The one thing I said to myself is I just want to see what this what the handheld will do. If I'm Joe Blow who just wants to play a game, I'm just going to turn on the game, start the game. And every game. Oh, I played the other game I played was the beta for Arc
Raiders.
Arc
Okay,
Raiders.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Played that on there as well.
I've taken a similar approach to you. I didn't want to really mess with any of the settings with the games. I just wanted to see what this device could do before I was forced to do something like that. I wanted to really see what the device was capable of. And I played a wide variety of games from indie to AAA. So I played like Hollow Knight Silksong. I played Final Fantasy 16. I played Metaphor. I played Forza Horizon 5. I played Keeper. I played Ninja Gaiden 4. Played the Ball X Pit on there. And I played Yakuza Like a Dragon Ishin. And so I play like those 8 games, and there may be one more that I can't think of, but those are the games I've generally played on there. And I've also played Madden on there via the PC, the Xbox streaming off my console. So I wanted to test the streaming off my console, so I did that too. So those are the 9 games I've played on the device.
Okay, and so just for clarity, I did use the Xbox Cloud Gaming to play the Secret Monkey Island, and then the Tactics of Metal Slug Tactics, and then the Ball Pit game as well, which I do. I use really
Cloud for Ball Pit. Yeah,
it works great. Okay, It works really, really good. All right, so I think just kind of give that kind of lay of the land of what we've been playing. And I gotta tell you, so that's a mix, right? You got AAA stuff, you got indie stuff across the board. Everything's been flying. I have not needed to test or tweak anything. Everything's been working visually great, and I'm a graphics person.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I play streaming on a handheld that's capable of downloading a game is because I don't like how it looks, so I stream it so it can look better.
Mm-hmm.
But the Xbox Ally X does it. It nails it for me. Every game that I've thrown at it, again, Battlefield 6 all the way to Ball Pit, no matter what it was, it all ran smoothly. And I really enjoyed using the device playing these games. It's been smooth sailings. I have not had any hiccups. I don't know if you have had any issues with any of the games you played?
I had hiccups with one game, and that's just because it's widely known to be poorly optimized for PC, and that's Final Fantasy 16. So for that game specifically, I did have to turn down the settings from 1080p to 720, and that did make it run a little bit better. But that's just a product of it being a bad PC port in general. I had the same problems on my gaming PC that I have to turn down the settings to get it to run decently. So I just find that to be an issue of Final Fantasy 16, not the device itself.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see if the game is not well optimized, you can probably start seeing the cracks in a handheld device, right?
I mean, it's not optimized well for console, so
yeah, exactly. So I think that would be that might be a problem. But I could tell you for the vast majority, so everything I played ran wonderfully. But again, that's why we name some of the games so you get an idea of the games that we played. But for me, man, the biggest thing is that I have now been really drawn to it, like to playing with the handheld. Not before, I played with the handheld as just a filler, right? So when I couldn't be at my console or I couldn't be at my PC, I would use the handheld. But it looks so good for me. Like the screen for me is really nice, right? And I'm coming from a Steam OLED screen, and I'm not saying it's like an OLED, but it's really nice. Like it's a sharp screen, and I don't find a problem with it. And the comfortability and how well it runs, and my ability to kind of just swap into a different store. So like Dying Light is a Steam game that when I did the review, they sent me the Xbox version and the Steam version, but there was a problem. Actually, they sent me the Xbox version first, but it wouldn't unlock the game. So there was an issue, and they were like, sorry, but it's going to unlock when the game goes live, but you can't use it. So they said, do I have some other way? Told them I had Steam. So they said they'll give it to me on Steam. And then so I have it on Steam, but I also have it on Xbox because when they sent it to me on Xbox, it stood there. It was just going to unlock for when the game released. But I've been playing it through the Steam version because that's where I had all my progress. So I don't want to, lose it. And man, it's just so convenient to be able to be playing Outer Worlds 2, do some more side quests or whatever I want to do, or if the nice thing is that even though they don't have a new game plus, which annoyed me, you could just kind of load up a game right before you get to that point of no return and just go do everything you want to do. So that it runs like a dream, but to be able to be like, all right, I want to do that, and then I could just go switch into my Steam version of Dying Light 2. It's just too good. And I have like so many games downloaded. Like one of the things I'm excited about is getting back to Grounded 2. And Grounded 2 was a similar thing where they screwed me with the Xbox, but I mean they didn't screw me, but the Xbox version did not go through correctly. So I ended up using the Steam version of Grounded 2. So all my save and all my progression is on the Steam version, and it was supposed to unlock on the Xbox version, but it didn't. So meaning it didn't transfer my saves correctly. Maybe it's fixed now. I haven't done it in a while, but So for me, all my progress is on that. So I'm excited to go, check that out. But I mean, honestly, it's made me want to grab it and play. It's just so convenient, man. Like, you go sit anywhere you want, and it feels good in your hands. The other handhelds, even the Steam Deck, which I thought was pretty comfortable, it's not the same. It's not the grips, the handles. It just feels good, man. Have you felt similar? Like, how do you feel about like using it and having it in your hand?
It feels great in my hand, and I think you're correct. The experience is so smooth, and it feels so good to play on the device that it's kind of almost become my de facto device. Like when I have the option to come downstairs and game on my console, a lot of times I do opt to just stay where I'm at and just hop on the handheld. So it is a very smooth experience. I feel like the games are very, very clean. They operate just as well as they would on console, if not better. The only thing is, like, some games might take a little bit longer for that initial load up, like to boot the game and launch it. But other than that, once you're in the game, I mean, you're talking about maybe like an extra 3-4 seconds. It's not anything crazy. But yeah, other than that, it's a smooth experience to where it's like, this is kind of the de facto experience. And I've never picked up the device and been like, oh crap, I need to charge it. It maintains a really good charge. So it's like when I'm ready to hop in, I'm just able to hop in, and I don't have my device on a charger 24/7. So it's nice to be able to just pick it up and start playing, and not have to worry about the battery, and you just really just dive into what you like. And I've never been like, oh, I'm about to play a AAA game, let me make sure I'm plugged in. It just hasn't been like a performance 100%. Issue to where I feel like I need to be plugged in order to get the performance that I would like. That was one of the concerns that I had, when we were first talking about getting these handhelds, is that for certain games that are more intensive, you're going to need to be plugged in, is what is the case with most of the handhelds that are currently out on the market. So I was surprised to find that, like, I was able to like play a Forza 5 or play a Yakuza or play a Final Fantasy 16 and not encounter those issues.
Agreed. That was I think that was my biggest thing. Like, honestly, I was very prepared, and I think that's maybe why I'm so high on it, like why I'm so excited about it, because I was very much prepared to be like, okay, I'm gonna download these AAA games on here, but I know full well that I'm going to basically use this for lesser type games, and then stream my more graphically demanding games. And I've came in expecting that, and I was just hoping that the handheld, the form factor, was going to be like good enough for me to really enjoy holding it. So streaming it was going to be a better experience streaming it here than streaming it somewhere else, because I like holding this better. That was my hope, and that was my thought. But again, I have been playing not plugged in, and that was the thing where I didn't want to feel like if I wasn't next to an outlet, then I wasn't getting a good experience, right? Because that's what happened with my previous devices, with the regular Ally and the Steam Deck, right? Both Steam Decks, even the OLED, it was a little bit better than the other one, but still, it just wasn't enough. So that's why I did everything streaming. But with this, I could genuinely say you could bring it with you in the car, if you're going somewhere, and you could just grab it and play. And in that way, I feel like it's closer to a Switch, in the sense that, it's the device is the device. Like, can technically, if I plug it in, go into turbo mode, and I can maybe crank up some settings more to, I don't know, get like something that looks a little bit better. I don't know. It looks great to me. And I personally, again, I'm super into graphics. You guys all know this. So for me, if I didn't think that the graphics were good, then I would be streaming it.
But if you're an enthusiast, you can definitely get more performance out of the device. If that is something that you would like to do, if you want a higher frame rate or something like that, you can push the device to do that. but from an out of the box perspective, you get to jump in and play basically any game that you currently would like to play, and you have a very smooth experience to where you don't even have to think about something like that if you haven't thought about it before.
100%. 100%. Okay, so that's the handheld itself and the game, the games that we've played and the experience with that, right? Which is great. Now, then there's the software, I would say, right? So the Xbox full screen experience,
yes,
and what it's like using. So I would say a person who's buying this handheld to use it only in the Xbox experience without touching any outside stores is going to have, from my experience, an almost perfect experience. Like it works playing everything on Xbox. It didn't give me any issues. Like everything was just worked well for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they worked really hard to get Steam integrated completely into the system as well. So if you do download Steam and you start playing games there, your stuff populates and it's on your main screen. It did not populate with other stores so far for me. So, for instance, Battlefield 6, I have that via the EA Play app, and it works perfectly. And when you open up the app, it opens up, and you're in that kind of space, but it does not transfer over to the Xbox experience, meaning I'm in the EA app. It's taking up my screen. That's what I'm seeing. That's where my game is. If I don't go to that app, I don't see Battlefield 6. Now, I don't know if that's like a toggle or something I'm supposed to find. I looked through the settings. I couldn't really see anything, but it does not populate the game that I'm playing like it does on Steam. On Steam, whatever you play ends up in your library and in your thing. I did not see that for the EA Play. And then also for Epic, I don't know if I'm missing something, but Fortnite, I love Fortnite. I downloaded Fortnite. I did play Fortnite one time, but I didn't do too much of it. It was really late, and I went into the store is what I did, and then I just bounced. So it does work. It worked great in that respect. I was able to open and I was able to browse the store, and it looked good when I saw on the screen, but I didn't play. But that also doesn't populate for me. So I don't know if it was supposed to, or I don't know if anything like that, but that does not populate there. So in that way, because again, unless I'm doing it wrong, it's not bringing those in. I thought it would bring every store in, but it doesn't. So or at least the way I'm doing it doesn't. So I still have to go to those stores and go into that, screen to play those experiences.
So,
and then that's it.
To my understanding, you're supposed to be able to download the game and it's supposed to appear in your library regardless of what store it's from. I'm not, but I haven't, myself, I've tried to use this device as much as an Xbox device as I possibly could. So I haven't flirted with the other stores yet. I've set all the stores up that I use on the PC side, but I haven't actually downloaded those games and tried to play from those games. I've just been trying to have, especially since Xbox has so many games out right now.
Facts.
That I'm trying to get through. I've just kind of used it purely as an Xbox device to see how much of an Xbox experience am I able to get from the device. As far as the UI goes, I feel like for an Xbox user, it's very intuitive to what it is to play like on an Xbox. I would kind of, if I was going to give it a rating, I'd probably say it's like a 7.7 overall. I think that there's a couple little things that they can fine tune and fix it to make it feel more like the console experience. Like when you capture clips, like it doesn't take you to the file explorer. On like when it comes to things like setting up your Bluetooth headphones, it doesn't take you to the full settings menu. Just some things they can do to just make it feel
But it does.
more.
But to be fair, when it does that, it does open up as its own little app, right?
Yeah,
So like it opens up as its own screen. So it's not like it's not like a PC that it's gonna bring up a screen sitting on top of something else.
yeah,
It becomes its own full screen
yes, it
experience,
does.
and then you can, if you hold the X button, you could zoom out to pick, and you could just easily close that screen.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
not
not like it's
hard.
layering,
Yeah,
but
it's
it
not.
does take you to the generic
Yeah,
Windows version as opposed to a, you know,
yeah,
something that they built specifically for the device.
yeah. So like, it's just little things that I know that they're going to fix. And it's just like, okay. And I've left my suggestions. There's like a feedback tab. I've given the feedback, like, yeah, this is where this will make it feel a little bit more console-like and make it feel better as a gamer. Um, so those are kind of like my only little things that I've seen so far. But other than that, like once I got my headphones hooked up, it's been 100% just feels like an Xbox experience. I haven't left the Xbox experience other than to show other people when I've showed the device to like my wife or my friends that, oh yes, you can go into the full desktop mode, and if you wanted to work on make this a laptop basically, and dock it and you can do that. But other than that, I haven't done it other than for demonstration purposes. I've been fully in the Xbox and Armory Crate for everything.
Yep.
And the Armory Crate only did the set up that custom load up screen that you can do. So I've done that, and that's just kind of like a cool thing that I like of Armory Crate. So I set that up, and after that, I haven't even really been in Armory Crate outside of that. I've been fully in the Xbox UI for everything, and it's been great.
So I think the other thing is the updates. So Hargeet had mentioned to me on the show that Armory Crate, there are updates there as well.
Yes.
So there's Windows updates and there's Armory Crate updates, and Windows updates do happen because I do get the game bar updates. They tend to update it, so I've updated it a few times, and it does kind of take you out to that Windows, the Windows downloader look, like it's there. So it does kind of take you out of that experience there. And then when you do the Armory Crate, that is integrated into that app, so it looks fine. But you do have to. I mean, I don't really know what it does, to be honest with you. I just know that it was an option to upgrade.
I know
to update. So I'm like, is there the update? So fuck it, I'm gonna update it. So that has to happen. As far as like the dash, like going into desktop, it is desktop, so you could do everything that you would imagine you could do on there. Is there.
Yeah.
The only things I had to do was like, mine was fine, but when I set up Doodles, we did the fingerprint thing in the beginning when she was setting it up, but then it like wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I went back into like the Windows dashboard, got into the fingerprint thing, redid her fingerprint, and all of a sudden now it works perfect for her. So she has no problem getting in with the fingerprint. So that was cool. That was fine. And I downloaded some, like a picture to put as my, the lock screen or whatever. So I have like an Xbox lock screen instead of the Windows lock screen, because it does come standard with the Windows lock screen, which does kind of, take away the illusion a little more that you're in a completely.
I haven't done that yet.
Experience.
I haven't done anything.
Still rocking that. Yeah. So
I'm treating it. I'm treating it like a noob. Like, I can do all the PC stuff, but I really want to, like, I want if someone comes to speak to me about the device and they're interested in it and they're not a PC gamer, they're just purely a console gamer and they're interested, I want to give them that perspective. So I've been kind of living in that for at least like the first month.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think that's really, I just feel like there's like, so I would say it might be a weird way of phrasing it, but I feel like there's just certain things that were unfinished. You know what I'm saying? So like, and when I say unfinished, I mean like the settings is not a native settings app for the console. It's Windows settings, right? Like basically every touch point that is Windows, I would consider that to be unfinished. That's the way that's the way I see it. It does work. And if you're familiar with it, it works. And, navigating with the touchscreen is fine. It all works fine. I haven't had any I haven't had any problem using it. It's just the feeling that you get when you go there is I'm leaving the shell of Xbox and going into Windows and then coming back once I did what I had to do. So I do feel like maybe if they like the software, that's where they're going, right? Obviously, they're going to continue to integrate the software more and more until it ultimately becomes, that console-like experience. But I would say we're not there yet as far as just usage, right? There are these places where you do exit the Xbox experience, even to do things like your headphones. I know it's in the if you go into that little menu, like when you tab over, there is sound and stuff there. And I guess if you already have it connected, you can choose it there. But you have to connect it. When you connect it, it takes you out, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it was for me. Yeah, maybe unless I did it wrong, but I mean, I get it how I knew how to do it. So
So that's the only thing I was saying. I don't look at it like this huge negative because I do feel like it's still the purpose of what I'm having it for is there. But it's clear that they were like, okay, we got the basics down, like this the experience of playing games and getting into your games on Xbox or the Xbox app works perfectly. No jumping through hoops or anything. It just works. And the power profile is perfect. So all that stuff works. And I think it's just all those other, loose ends they have where I do appreciate that they do go into, and no matter what you pick, goes into its own tab that is a closable tab that's easy to maneuver once you hold that Xbox button and you pull out and you can just swipe through all the tabs. Everything you do goes in its own tab. So if you were looking at your Bluetooth settings and you pulled out and went back to Xbox, that tab will stay there. You could just close it or leave it open, but it's not like a PC situation where things are just layering on top of each other. Like if you were on a Windows dashboard or something. So I feel like they did the best they could without finishing it, so it's like, it's just that one last step, fully integrate, create its own place where I don't have to leave this and stay contained in the Xbox experience. It's like peeking behind the curtain every time, I don't want to do that. It's like if you're at a haunted house and then you walk to the wrong way and you see behind the curtain. It's like, oh, that's not cool. I didn't want to see that.
Yeah.
So
sure.
So I would say that is a thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. I don't think I've had any negative experience with the device, but they're just things that I understand that as a person who's coming on from a console perspective, they may not want to see those things. So
exactly.
I'm like, okay, this is something where you can improve to make it feel more like the console experience. But everything feels very good with the device. I haven't had anything where I've gotten stuck or frustrated or confused. It's been pretty straightforward. Like even the Armory Crate updates, I did the Armory Crate updates while I was looking for that Armory Crate button screen where you get where you can choose like your video game opening. I did the update then, but I'm not checking every week for Armory Crate updates. Whatever updates Windows sends me, I'll hit the OK button and let it do that. But it's been pick up and play. That's my experience.
Now, one other thing that is I was excited to see play out is that I did go ahead and get a 2 terabyte micro SD card.
Okay.
So obviously they're selling one from that's like official for Xbox or whatever. And I couldn't find that, and it was way more money anyway. So what I did is I just looked at like the specs, and it tells you like the read write speed. And I actually got one that was a little bit better actually than the speeds of that. I figured if they were using that, then that's the one that is going to run it the best. So I got one that was a little bit better than that, and it was still cheaper than the official one. So
because they both got to make money on the official one.
Exactly.
Only one of them got to make money on the.
So I got that one and I put it in, and I have downloaded games on both, on the internal and on that external. I also keep all my clips there. I did everything necessary to make it there. And it works great. At first, it didn't work. And I was like, what the f is going on? But the card didn't come formatted as NT, whatever the fuck. Like whatever it is, that NTST or some shit. I don't know. There's a specific way that it's supposed to be formatted.
Format it, yeah.
So in my mind, I was like, oh my God, now I got to go find a micro SD card reader to plug it into my computer to go ahead and do that. And then I said, hold on, this is a computer. So I went into Windows desktop mode and I found the drive and formatted it right there and then into the correct format, and then done. And once that happened, I was able to go ahead and use it. But that being said, it wasn't plug and play, right?
Yeah.
If I was a new person who didn't like think about that or didn't know to look at that, I might have thought it wasn't working or it was broken.
So you need an auto formatter.
Yeah, that would be nice. It should automatically format as soon as I put it in. But either way, but that has worked great, and I have seen no difference in quality. So like whatever the internal specs are as far as the hard drive is concerned, that the SD card, the micro SD card that I put in there, works just as well.
I do plan on
hitching.
I do plan on updating, upgrading the SSD at some point. I want to put a 4 terabyte in the Ally at some point, but as of right now, it works great. So, and that's just because I want to put some emulators in at some point.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, emulators would be dope on this machine. I feel like with 2 terabytes, emulations should be pretty good, but I can definitely see, because I mean, total, I guess I have 3 terabytes, right? 2 terabytes.
3. Yeah.
3. Now there is one part that I would be remiss to mention that's not actually the console per se, or maybe it is. I don't know. And it is the docking and playing on the screen. So Doodles in my Ally X, I have mine docked in our bedroom. So that TV we have in there, I can use that one. And then hers, I had downstairs on a monitor, because when she's doing things, that monitor is close by, so she could kind of just be playing and then do whatever she has to do. So I had that there, and then hers, I had it docked in, and I'm using, to be clear, I'm using the official Asus ROG Ally one.
Yeah, the Rikishi.
No, the dock.
Oh, the Bulwark dock.
Yeah, the one with the light on it and shit, right?
Yeah, the Bulwark.
Yeah, so I'm using that one. So I have 2 of them.
Yep.
Yes, that guy that it flips up. Yep. So I'm using that, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's something I'm doing wrong. I don't know if there's a setting. I don't know what. It worked great. Like literally last night, I was playing on mine upstairs, docked. I played some ball pit. I played all those other games that were there, and it was fine. Doodles, we just recently did that change with the fingerprint, and I went and did it, and then I went to plug it in, and it would not, like, for what, it just won't recognize. My monitor won't pick it up.
Did you
I
put
switched
it in the right port?
Because I already had it. So I already in this monitor, I've already done it where it worked.
Not about for the Ally.
Yeah, it's
the left port,
one, right?
It's
the right port.
It's the furthest one away. It's the Thunderbolt 4, I think. The one closest to the triggers.
Is it the one closest to the triggers?
Yeah. I think that's a Thunderbolt 4 dock. I think that's a Thunderbolt 4.
Okay, I have to check.
One's Thunderbolt 3, one's Thunderbolt 4, I believe.
Okay, maybe depending on what you're trying to do. I don't know. I gotta recheck that then. Maybe I'm just doing an error. Because I had it and it was working, and then when I went to put it back, it wasn't working. And then I took hers and I said, hold it, because I tried multiple HDMIs and nothing changed. So I was like, oh shit. So I said, all right, well, I know I was playing last night on the upstairs one. So I took hers, brought it upstairs to put it in the dock, and it didn't work there. And then when I went to plug mine back in, it also didn't work anymore there. Yeah. So I don't know if I don't know if I did something wrong or whatever it is, but regardless, I would say it shouldn't be that difficult. Something, you know, so I have 8K like HDMI cables. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I buy high quality ones. It should work. It did work, and then it didn't. So if I get it to work again, great. If not, like it is what it is. But it's like kind of a bitch that it was even a thing. Have you docked yours at all?
I have docked mine. I docked it when I did my my first initial impressions of the device, and I used it with my Elgato.
Okay.
And I didn't have any issues. It worked just fine.
No, it just worked. So is the one so just to be clear, is the one closest to
the triggers, I believe, is
trigger. And then what about the port on the base?
The port on the base is the one
closest to the left, or is it the second one?
I use the one that has the monitor button, the one that's furthest
that's the one all the way to the
left, yeah,
right?
Yes,
yeah, that's the one that I used to. Okay, so I think I was using the one furthest away from the trigger, not the one next to the trigger. So maybe I think that's the thing.
Yeah, I believe that's where it goes. The one furthest, the one closest to the trigger is the USB 4 port, I believe.
Okay, so I'm gonna try that, but it is something to note that it was kind of a pain in the ass, and the fact that I have to figure out which port, like it should be clearly labeled or something. I don't know. Something should be a little more easier for me to know, and maybe it is, and I just don't understand what the labels mean. But that's also a problem, right? You should make the labels clearer for somebody to understand. So, so that is of note. But when I did have it working, it worked flawlessly. Like last night, I was just living my best life. Like I was on the handheld. I put it down, docked it, grabbed the controller, and it just worked like all the ideas that you have in your head of being able to just play, similar to like the Switch. The only thing I wish there was like a dock that you could just drop it in, as opposed to like the plug.
Yeah,
that you have to always
like a dock port at the bottom.
Yeah, like there should just be a dock port at the bottom, man. Like just do it, make it nice and easy. But aside from that, that was the only thing that kind of annoyed me, and it just kind of happened. But I would say that's outside of the handheld itself and more probably my user error. But still, it's a feature, and I think there's going to be a lot of people who want to use it that way. So I think it should be easier. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I really love it as a handheld experience in my hand. I'm so happy for it. Like happy using it. I'm happy it was released. I'm happy that I'm glad they didn't wait till they had it all perfected, because it is good enough right now to have a fantastic experience. Like you, Farrell, I do find myself just preferring to play on that versus going to the TV or whatever. Not because I don't enjoy the TV, but because it's just easier. I feel, one of the things that I feel like is if I get on the TV, I feel like there's a bigger commitment being made. Where when I'm on the handheld, I feel a little more free. Like if I want to get up and go sit at the table because I just feel like sitting at the table, I can go do that. If I want to go lay down on the couch or whatever, there's like this cool freedom that maybe I didn't have it when I didn't do handhelds when I was a kid. I didn't have like a Game Boy or anything like that. So
I was a Game Boy kid for sure.
Yeah, I didn't have. No, I played it from like my cousins and stuff, but I didn't have it, so it wasn't like part of me. And I feel like with this handheld, I'm kind of getting that itch, that it's my experience. It's not like people are not walking around and seeing what I'm playing or whatever. And not that it's a problem, but it's like it's a very personal experience. And I think having a handheld is really giving me that, scratching that itch for me. I'm really, really loving that. So overall, I really do love it. If I were going to score it, I feel like the number that I would give it is overall, it would have to be like an 8. I feel like as an experience holding the thing and I'm playing games, like if that's what I'm there for, like that's what it is, I'm at a 9. So I think as an overall, with some of the rough ends of, you know, how it takes you out of those experiences and putting the dock. If the dock worked perfectly, I think I would be at a 9 across the board. But I think with the dock not working the way I wanted to, for me, my experience, I'd say an 8 overall. But as a game, with a handheld, like if you're just doing handheld and you're just playing the games that are right there on your Xbox or streaming through the Xbox cloud, I think that's a 9 all day. It would be a 10 experience if all the other stuff was Xbox focused. Like if they got your settings into the console instead of pushing you into Windows, all the upgrades, right? You haven't looked for upgrades, but you shouldn't have to. It should be that one time that it pushes a notice, say, hey, there's an update. It should be across the board, and it's going to update everything in one shot, as opposed to, you finding out that you didn't update, the arbitrary crate for a couple of weeks. What about you? Where are you kind of sitting with the whole thing?
I must leave it at about an 8.5, 9, leaning more towards a 9 though. I think from a gameplay perspective, from a user experience perspective, I feel like it's very smooth for someone who doesn't necessarily have any experience with PC gaming. I feel like you just jump right in and kind of do what you want to do. And you get to, as an Xbox gamer, it feels very much like an Xbox experience. So I'll give it a 9 on that perspective. I think some of the areas that they can improve as far as the user interface and making it more like a complete console experience is where it doesn't get that full point and a half for me. So I think that's
like
where
right there, right?
Yeah, it's like right. Yeah,
bring that in.
It's very small. It's very small things, but very small things that I think will make a big difference. Like if they are able to get the capture thing down to where you go into your capture folder, it doesn't look like File Explorer, even if it is File Explorer, if it just doesn't look like it.
Paint a picture for me, baby.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like little things like that. If they nail those little things, then right there, I think it's a 10 out of 10 device for sure.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, and I want them to be able, and I don't know if it's just a glitch or if I didn't see it, but I want it to be able to pull in every game I download.
Yeah,
no matter what store it is. I want it to all be on my Xbox experience app, and maybe it's supposed to, and it's whatever, but I want it there.
And my favorite feature of it being a Windows device is that default keyboard they give you and everything, that default screen experience. You can go to the little personalized section when you go to the full Windows menu, and you can like choose the colors that you like. Because I hate bright screens, so I got a black keyboard and I got green keys, and it looks lovely, especially at night. That bright screen is tough on your eyes at night.
Yep.
So I like that. You just go to the personalized section, so you open up the full Windows menu, like when you're setting up a Bluetooth device, and you go to personalize. And you can change the colors.
You can personalize the keyboard. All right.
It doesn't just personalize the keyboard; it actually personalizes the Xbox UI too. So my UI is like 100% black. It's not that like off gray.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
sure. So I really like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you have it, man. That's our Xbox Ally X review as it stands right now. I love it. I'm really, really enjoying it. So